Aelin opens up the chest that they found in the temple, and there is not a lot inside. Instead, there are these ancient mirrors with the symbol of the Eye of Elena in the corner. And Manon tells them all about the power of witches' mirrors and about her grandmother making the witch towers out of witch mirrors that could literally just destroy everyone in a couple of blasts. So it's not looking good. The guys, they carry the mirror back to the boat and everyone's just really exhausted. When they get to the beach, damn it guys, this beach, worst beach ever. The only beach in the world I would refuse to go to on holiday. Because so many bad things happen on this beach. But the first one's pretty cool. They see, like, Melisandre's fleet sailing towards them. And there are already soldiers on the ground coming towards them. And everyone's like, oh no, we've just had all of this kerfuffle and now we're gonna have to fight. No, no, no. Guess who's leading these troops? I kid you not. It is Ansel of Briarcliff. Ansel from the Assassin's Blade. Basically, Ansel has brought all of the troops with her from Briarcliff. She's reclaimed her home. She's beaten Lord Locke, taken back her place in society, got herself an army, and she's come to pay back the life debt she owes Aelin. And we find out our girl Aelin, she's been planning and calling in all of her favors on the DL. When she dyed her hair red and was in the fighting rings back in Queen of Shadows, Homegirl used Ansel's name in the ring. And so obviously Ansel heard, who is this woman using my name? And their banter on the beach in this scene is iconic. She's like, oh, Sardothian, I hear you've been using my name. And Aelin's like, well, Ansel, to be fair, you kind of owe me your life. So if I want to use your name, I will. And all the others are just watching it like, what on earth is going on? But if you've read Assassin's Blade before this, you totally get where they're coming from. And that one extra second Aelin gave Ansel to escape is just, it's coming back. All the good karma, guys. It's coming back. When she contacted Ansel and called in her debt, Ansel came through, brought her army from the wastes, and sacked Melisandre's army. So she's just beaten one of the foes already and got all their ships and come over to help Aelin. Amazing. Women supporting women, guys. More of it, please. Ansel lets everyone know that it's Maeve, not Erewhon, who has been setting the fires in Elwë. Because Maeve is trying to make it look like Aelin Galathynius is off her rocker and this evil, crazy woman who clearly needs to be subdued. Well, Aelin, she's done nothing wrong, and she has both Maeve trying to destroy her life on one side and Erewhon trying to take over the world on the other side. Who's the bigger baddie? We don't know. Homegirl's being framed at the minute, and it's just a lot. But that evening, we get some really sweet scenes. We get Aedion and Lysandra basically deciding that they want to be together and that they're gonna start, like, let's make a friends to lovers kind of sitch. And they agree that they are going to head to Terrasen the next day. They're going to head back up north and get everything in order there on Aelin's behalf. We have Rowan being like, Aelin, have you been plotting behind everybody's back? I'm so impressed by you. Well done. Gold sticker for Aelin. And so the two of them are like, we also have Dorian visiting Manon in her bed that night. Literally everyone's coupling up. It's amazing. Even have Alid and Lorcan like in their little separate hammocks whispering to each other. Like they stay close. So we have these core 8 characters all together for one night. And of course, it's too good to last. Basically, another armada is coming towards them. Maeve is coming, but she's going to wait until the morning to demand Aelin's surrender. Once Aelin has fallen asleep, in her bed, Rowan climbs out of their bedroom window and flies over to Maeve's fleet, and he slips into one ship after another because lots of his cousins, all the other Whitethorns, have been called upon to be a part of this Fae army. He goes to all of his family members and makes a request to each cousin. He goes in and he asks a favor. You don't know what it is, but he asks, and all of them say, hey, we, the Whitethorn family, we'll all consider what you've asked for, Rowan. As we come into the next day, Dorian actually grabs Aelin and Manon and takes them down to the magic mirror to show them something. He thinks Diana's riddle that Aelin's been trying to decode for books now suggests that if Aelin and Manon work together, they can kind of see the future and determine how to beat Maeve and how they're meant to use the keys. So the two of them, Aelin and Manon, they hold hands, they reach forward, they both reach to the mirror, and they disappear into it. When Adrian finds out that Aelin has disappeared on the eve of battle, he is furious. But Rowan says, no, whether she's here or not, we all get ready for battle. Maeve sends over her demands that they surrender, and Rowan says, the Queen's not here, she can't really answer. Aelin's not here right now. Could we just all just be in the sea? Could you just let us pass? Could it all be nice? Maeve just responds by shooting a load of arrows at their boats. So, gonna take that as a no to the peaceful coexistence request that Rowan makes. This bit gets complicated, so I'm gonna bring the notes closer. Aelin and Manon, they've travelled back to the past through the mirror, and they watch Gavin and Elena all the way back in time, but also from the beginning of the book. And they see Elena uses the little stone that's inside the Eye of Elena necklace Aelin has been wearing all the way through, and they realise that's the lock that they've all been looking for. Turns out she used the stone that's in her necklace to seal Erwin in the mountain. She distracted Erwin with Gavin, and they managed to injure him. So they subdue him a bit, they lock him in the mountain, which is a terrible idea because he gets freed from that mountain by Dorian's dad and Duke Perrington in the future. But she knows that the lock can only be used once. This is like a one-time, time down for now kind of sitch. And Erwin's minions, they're all like, you are so stupid to use this stone. It turns out is a teeny tiny witch mirror to lock Erwin up with. Instead, what the mirror was meant to do was unite all of the weird keys and send all of the Valg back home. But Homegirl messed up. She did the wrong thing. She had all the tools and used them in the wrong way. She says, look, I'll do anything to undo this. Like, can I not give someone else someday in the future who's more prepared, who's better than me, to end this and use the stone for its original purpose? Now, these demons, they look at Gavin and they say, well, she is going to have to lead Marla's bloodline to bleed again. Gavin can't hear any of this, by the way. They're speaking directly to Elena, so he has no idea what promise she makes. But they propose that she do what she can to ensure that one of the descendants of Mala Firebringer, so anyone descended from her family, that they can use Mala's power to basically rectify Elena's mistake. And Elena's going to have to help them in the future do it. And whoever it is that this job ends up falling to, they're going to have to give their life force to do it. Like, they will have to die in order to send all the Valg back to wherever it is they came from. And Elena agrees. She basically decides to trade the life of a future descendant in exchange for this terrible mistake she's made being rectified in the future. She basically sells her descendants out. She's like, yeah, one day we'll just have to pick one to get rid of Erwin, and that one will die. We then jump forward in time and see Nehemia find the chest, because obviously the chest is down in Elwy, and the ghost of Elena wakes up where Nehemia finds the chest. Now, Nehemia's been studying and she thinks, oh, Elena, maybe you're here to save everyone. Maybe I'm here to save everyone. What's going on? And Elena's like, oh no, honey, you're not the chosen one. You're not going to be the sacrifice whose life we will trade in order to rid ourselves of the Valg. You know, it has to be someone from my family. It has to be someone descended from Mala Firebringer. Homegirl, you're from the wrong royal family. And she lets Nehemia know that there's basically two options currently alive in the world who are descended from the right familial line. And those two people are Aelin and Dorian. My babies. And now this is why I have real problems with Nehemia. Okay, girl's been dead for quite a few books now. And it turns out that she went north, having spoken to the ghost of Elena, because she knows that Selena and Dorian are about to meet and are about to be in the same place at the same time. And obviously having Dorian in the same place as Aelin means that both the royal family lines are there together. Both of the potential sacrifices will be in place. And Elena tells Nehemia in order to set things in motion, in order to start the sacrifice on its journey, Nehemia has to go to Ardalan willingly and die. So when Nehemia said to Selena, it's fine, my death is for a greater purpose, her greater purpose was setting up one of her friends, or both of her friends. It's not 100% clear what Nehemia believed at that point, but she thinks, oh, I've got to die now, and then Dorian, Selena, my friends, they're gonna die too, just a bit later, and their deaths will save the world, so it's cool. She basically befriended them thinking, yeah, that they were gonna die. I'm not cool with that. Then Aelin and Manon, they also get to see Elena argue with her father about what she's done and the deal that she's made. Elena also makes the decision to live her life as a mortal. Got fae and godly blood, but she's like, no, I want to be human. I want to be like a normal queen and I want to live with Gavin and die with Gavin. So that basically just ruins her relationship with her dad. She messes up and is then like, oh, psych, not really my problem anymore. I'm just going to go and live a happy life and wait until another person in our family gets sacrificed in the future. So Brennan's Mr. Responsible, really disappointed in his daughter, and he forges the weird keys and hides them all over the place. And he marks them with weird marks, putting the third and the final key in Mala's temple, then descending into like a fiery pit for all eternity. Homeboy doesn't have the best ending, not gonna lie. Turns out the Croken Queen, she helped them as well. So the witches were involved in getting all these weird keys made and doing what they could to help the future descendant if and when they came along. We then actually have Elena appear, Ghost Elena, and all she can do is apologize to Aelin. And you find out that Elena's chosen Aelin to be the sacrifice. And, you know, really, it's all Elena's fault. So she's like, oh, I'm so sorry that these chickens have finally come home to roost. Aelin also realizes that she's died before. While escaping the assassins that, you know, killed her parents, they killed Elid's mom, she ran and fell into a river. And we realized that Elena saw this happen and thought, oh, brilliant. Here's like, I choose this girl. And so she brings Aelin back to life. She saves her life and she summons the nearest human to come and look after her. Turns out the nearest adult was Arabin Hamel. So Elena took little baby Aelin, little child Aelin, brought her back to life when Homegirl had died, and then put her in the hands of the man who groomed her and abused her for years. Yeah, Elena's Elena's not winning any awards for being a good person, like, at all. But Elena's not really meant to save anybody from death. That's really pushing the limits of it. And Elena's punished by the gods. They basically say, babe, you 100% should not have done that. Like, that's sticking your oar in too far. And so they take away Elena's opportunity to, like, join the afterlife. So Elena's stuck as a ghost and she's never going to be able to be with her husband or her children in heaven. And when Aelin asks why would you do that? Elena says, well, look, I wanted you to grow up. You were strong enough as a child. That's why certain things happened the way they did. You had Mala's firepower even as a really little kid. So it was clear it was going to be you. And the King of Ardland, under Erwin's persuasion, did everything he could to have you killed. And I wanted to give you the opportunity to grow up. I wanted you to have the chance to become strong and experience love, because the love of your life, your soulmate, he was stuck in another country and he'd been waiting for you for hundreds of years. And if you died then, he'd never get the chance to be with you and be rewarded for all of his patience, which is basically confirmation that Rowan is Aelin's real soulmate. At this point, Elena's like, look, the mirror's magic's running out. My magic's running out. Let me quickly tell you what it is you need to do to save the world. But I will stay with you. I will make sure you know what to do in order to save the world. And then Aelin and Manon crash back to the real world.